Amex Stadium for Brighton versus Arsenal. Teams are out in front of me doing their warm-ups right now. I will flick over on this camera so you can all have a good little watch at what's going on rather than having a look at my ugly face for the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. I'm sure you've seen the team news by now, but if you haven't, then Arsenal, the big news, Aubameyang back in and no Lacazette only on the bench. That's the one change from the team that started against Chelsea on Boxing Day, as expected, really. Thought that would be the one change that Arsenal made. Don't really think you can change a winning team, given you've waited so long to win a game. I would have been very surprised if Arteta sort of really rang the changes tonight and made out a big and made a load of changes from a winning team. He didn't. He just brought back the captain for Lacazette. And so it is Leno in goal, Bellerin, Holding, Mari and Tierney. Xhaka and Elneny is a midfield pairing, and then the front four of Saka on the right, Smith Rowe at number 10, Martinelli on the left, and Aubameyang up front. Subs are down there warming up in front of me. I haven't actually really looked at the subs. So it's Runarsson, Mustafi, Nketiah, Maitland-Niles, Pepe, Willock, Cedric, and Lacazette. Obviously, so there's the subs. No Thomas Partey in the squad. A couple of you I've seen already pop out there in the questions. He's back training, but he's not travelled with the squad yet. So you're expecting Thomas Partey. He might be back potentially for the. I still think West Brom might be a little bit early for Thomas Partey. I think you're probably looking after the West Brom game for the Newcastle FA Cup match as a possible return for Thomas Partey. A lot of you saying it's hard on Lacazette. A lot of questions, comments coming up there saying a bit hard for Lacazette, but I agree it is a little bit tough. I thought Lacazette played well, but I still think you're a better team when you've got Aubameyang in it, and he's the captain, he's the best striker at the club. I'm not surprised that Aubameyang's come back in, put it that way. I thought he probably would, even if it is a little bit tough on Lacazette. Right, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to flick over now so you can have a look at what's going on in front of me. I might have to lower the camera a little bit because we're right up at the gods at the back of the stands here at the Amex. And I'll flick over so you can have a little look at what I'm seeing. So that's Arsenal out there warming up. And Brighton are over there. Big news for Brighton. Lots and lots and lots of changes for Brighton. No Welbeck, no Neil Maupay, no Solly March. I think it's 6 changes for Brighton. So they've made really rotated Graham Potter. So yeah, Arsenal, you think will fancy their chances here tonight against a bit of a, I don't want to say second string, but certainly surprised looking at the Brighton starting 11. Arsenal got a terrible record against Brighton. I think they've got the worst loss percentage of any against any Premier League team in Brighton. Obviously, I haven't played them too many times because they've only recently come up. But I think they've got a 50% defeat record against Brighton in the Premier League. They've only got a 17% win record against them. So really terrible record. They obviously lost here earlier on in this calendar year. That controversial game when Maupay scored the last-minute goal, and then it all kicked off with him and Guendouzi. So yeah, Arsenal not got a good record. Got a terrible record against Graham Potter as well, dating back to his Osterson time when he came and won the second leg at the Emirates with Osterson. So yeah, the history doesn't suggest a good evening here for Arsenal tonight, but hopefully they can rip up the history books and get a win and back up that victory against Chelsea, which would be so important. See if I can get a little bit closer in on the Rondo action over there on the far side for you. Really happy to see Smith Rowe keep his starting 11. I thought he probably would. His place in the starting 11. I thought he would. And like I said earlier, I didn't think he would make too many changes tonight, given how long Arsenal waited for a victory. That it's tough to change a winning team after that. But delighted to see Smith Rowe get another game. I really hope he plays well now because he's got a new opportunity to really nail down the starting spot. Obviously, there is talk of Isco from Real Madrid. Arsenal having genuine interest in Isco, a possible loan in January till the end of the season. Mark Bryant's a press association reporting that today that the interest there is genuine in Isco. It'll be very interesting to see if Arsenal do that or not. I mean, it makes sense in a lot of ways. It always felt like one that could happen. Given Isco wants minutes, Arsenal want a creative player to come in and help them for the second half of the season. Isco's a very, very good player, but you do wonder if Smith Rowe really starts to perform over the next few weeks. Do you bring in someone for 6 months on big money just for that if you've got a youngster really performing well? So it's a big couple of weeks for Smith Rowe. I think he's got a real opportunity to nail down a spot in the starting 11. People asking if Ainsley Maitland-Niles gets a cameo tonight. Don't see why not. I imagine he probably will come off the bench at some point in the second half if needs be. Bissy Jack asking about Brighton not having their big strikers. Do they want to keep it tight until the second half and change things up? Quite possibly. I mean, Potter's, just like everyone's, got a lot of games to manage for his team at the moment. So could well just be a case of keeping fitness levels sorted. Owen says, how cold is it, Charles? It's bloody freezing, Owen, I have to say, mate. And it's only going to get colder over the next 2 weeks or so. Hello, mate. Sorry, I'm just saying hello to Chris Wheatley of Football London, who's taking his seat right next to me. I'm sure you all know him. Anna Cohen asked, are William and Louise COVID test negative? Yes, they are. They're supposed to be returning to full training on Thursday. Someone asking about Diego Costa. I mentioned that earlier in my video. I can't give anything myself on that because I don't know. I have not heard anything genuine myself. Obviously, the reports coming out from Spain of interest in Arsenal in Diego Costa. I find it very, very unlikely, I have to admit, but I can't say it for certain because I just don't know. I haven't got hadn't had my own sources confirm anything like that to me at the moment. If I hear anything from myself, I obviously will report it, but as far as I'm aware at the moment, it's just speculation. I haven't heard anything to back up that it is genuine. Anvi asked about Houssem Aouar. Look, I can't imagine Aouar happening in January. Lyon at top of the table in France. It's going to cost big money. I don't think you can. That's something you're going to expect to happen in January if it ever happens. I think Arsenal's best chance of that was last summer. They couldn't get it done. January looks absolutely impossible for me. Just won't happen. That's an interesting one from Anna Cohen. Then, do you think we will buy another goalkeeper in the upcoming transfer window? I think they should. And I think it's probably the most essential thing they could do in January is get themselves a goalkeeper, because if anything happens, to Leno in the second half season, he's out for any significant amount of time, you dread to think. And I'm not being harsh on Renison. I just don't. It's just from what I see, I don't. He's just not a top level goalkeeper for me. Nothing to suggest that he is a Premier League standard goalkeeper, and I would be very, very worried if Arsenal are without Leno for any significant amount of time in the second half of the season. Mine was, and it's cut out now. Sorry, having Wi-Fi difficulties here on my laptop, fortunately, not for my phone, so that seems to be working fine. Daniel Robert, opinions on Reading FC this season. Very surprised at how well they're doing. I thought they were going to struggle this season, as just because of how much of a mess that club is behind the scenes still, even after it was the days when I was covering them, and it still is now, and I thought they'd struggle this season. But fair play to them, they've done really well, and if they can keep Zhao and Yaku Mate fit for the second half of the season, they'll give themselves a chance, because they've got some goals in that team, and I think they've got an experienced defence. If Moore can get himself fit, then they've got a decent defence of him and Morrison. They've got a good chance of sneaking into the playoffs, which will be a big surprise. I wasn't expecting that at the start of the season, but they're giving themselves a shot, and that's all you can do going into 2021. People asking for my predictions. I'm not giving my prediction, I'm afraid. I always feel like I'm going to jinx it if I do that, so I'm not going to give my predictions today. All I can say is fingers crossed we have a similar performance and result to Chelsea. Oh, nice finish from Martinelli there. Tell you what, it's mad how many times I watch these warm-ups. It's mad how bad the finishing always is in these little shooting drills before the game. They never score, honestly. They always miss. They're still doing it. It's just always wide over the top miss. Very rarely stick one in the corner. See, I think I've seen one of them score so far. Smith Rowe stick one in. Xhaka scores. Look, they're all scoring now, I said that. Right, everyone, I'm going to love you and leave you now because I need to sort my computer out because I've lost Wi-Fi and I've got about 15 minutes to get it sorted before the game starts again. So I'm going to head off now, everyone. Wherever you're watching around the world, do enjoy it. Fingers crossed we have another 3 points to think about and celebrate afterwards. I will try, as long as I get time, to do my ratings after the match. Do one of my usual video after the match. If not, I will definitely be back tomorrow to do more of a in-depth piece reflecting on what I see tonight and what Mikel Arteta had to say afterwards in his press conference. Until then, everyone, have a very good evening, enjoy the game, and I'll speak to you soon.